True lovers, have you ever felt like finding your soulmate takes longer than waiting for your kombucha to ferment during a snowstorm on Mercury retrograde while blindfolded? Yeah, same. Hi, I'm Haim with Be Love Media, and today we'll chat about the juncture between the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching and your love life. We're going to focus specifically on verse 21 out of the 81 incredible verses of the Tao Te Ching written 2,600 years ago by Lao Tzu. I'm passionate about translating ancient wisdom into juicy modern truths, especially when it comes to the mysterious art of not ghosting yourself while searching for love. And hey, if you stick around till the end of this video, I promise to gift you 3 practical tips for your dating life based on this powerful Taoist verse 21. And those of you are asking yourself, why would I even listen to this dude with his funny accent? Well, you probably shouldn't, but you might want to listen to Lao Tzu, who probably knew what he was talking about when it comes to the nature of love, the nature of nature, the nature of life, and how the universe operates in its many mysterious ways. And the reason why I have something to share here on this platform is because I did it all the wrong ways. I wish I could have said that I found the love of my life at the age of 21 or 25, and that's why you should listen to me. But actually, couldn't be farther from the truth. I was married 3 times, 3 failed marriages, 3 painful divorces before I found my true ultimate soulmate, the love of my life and my best friend, my now wife, Rachel. And what that makes me, I guess, it makes me a forced expert in the art of marriage, in the art of relationships, not so much because I'm an artist of sort in that area, but more because I found a way to use ancient wisdom tools to collaborate it or to incorporate it into my life, into my relationships. And yes, relationships is something I'm very passionate about. And lucky me that after 3 difficult stories to share as far as my previous 3 marriages, and after 3, as I said, painful divorces, I haven't given up. And I think that's my true gift, I'm not capable of giving up on love. I'm not capable of giving up on healthy marriage, what I call a true love marriage. And here I am sharing my story, so maybe you won't have to go through as many painful lessons. So let's jump in, and before we dive deep, give that like button a tender caress, subscribe to Be Love Media, and hit that bell like it's the gong of divine timing. Now let's get mystical. Verse 21 from the Tao Te Ching. The greatest virtue is to follow the Tao, and Tao alone. The Tao is elusive and intangible. Oh, it is intangible and elusive, and yet within it is form. Oh, it is elusive and intangible, and yet within it is substance. Oh, it is dark and obscure, and yet within it is essence. This essence is very real, and because of it, we can know the truth. From the ancient past till now, its name has not been forgotten. Thus, I perceive the creation. Close quote. So here are 5 bullet points relating to dating based on this verse 21. Number 1, the greatest virtue is to follow the Tao and the Tao alone. What would that mean? Look for someone who is aligned with their own purpose, not just chasing likes or trends. A good partner doesn't get whiplash from chasing every vibe shift. They walk their talk. And as I was going about my life in these past 3 decades, I apologize, for of my adult life, ever since I was 20, I was easily impressionable for most of it, most of my adult life. Very easy to be impressed by beautiful women, by women who had cool professions, women who had elevated social status, some of them even really good mothers, which is great. And yet, what we need to understand, and what I didn't understand for most of my life, is that a dating process is not something to rush through, and a dating process is something that you want to look at as an interview. You're interviewing this potential candidate, this candidate for potential relationship, maybe even marriage. And hence, you need to see if they walk their talk, meaning focus on actions. Don't focus on how eloquent they are. You know, the Tao Te Ching says that good words, beautiful words are not true. True words are not beautiful. Now that sounds weird, right? Because there's so many people out there who are eloquent, they speak smoothly, they got their phrases right, they know how to say the right thing at the right time, and yet that is not what's going to determine whether you're going to have a good relationship with them. What is going to determine whether you're going to have a wonderful relationship with them, a working relationship with them, is, for instance, do they have integrity? When they say they're going to be somewhere, are they going to be there? The place they say they're going to be, the time they say they're going to be. When they're late, and yay, stuff happens, right? What comes out of their mouth before when they're late? Is it just some kind of a predictable excuse, like, oh yeah, traffic was bad? Duh, isn't that the case always in certain areas? Didn't you know that you're gonna be late based on your GPS half an hour before you met me? Couldn't you send me a text? Hey, by the way, I'm gonna be late. Sorry about that. So that I could do something else with my time versus just waiting. Quick example, first date with my previous wife, who unfortunately turned out to be my worst relationship throughout my life. Imagine that. Third marriage, you would think I would have improved from first to second to third, but that wasn't the case with me. I just kept doing the same old pattern, repeating the same old mistakes, making the same poor choices. And first date, I'm excited. I'm about to meet somebody new. I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. 10 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, nothing. No text, no nothing. I'm basically about to give up, about to send her a text, hey, let's forget about it, or hey, let's reschedule. Sure enough, she shows up 31 minutes later with some, oh yeah, traffic was bad excuse. Not really holding herself to account. I'm sorry, I know you have something better to do with your time. I should have texted you. No, just like, oh yeah. Kind of like a behavior you would expect from a princess, so to speak, right? Like somebody who thinks that her time is more important than other people's time, that she is more important than other people. Turns out that was her pattern later on throughout our relationship. By the way, I didn't have the wisdom to look into it and say, what am I looking at? Is that something for me to look in further? Does that person have integrity? When they mess up, do they clean it up properly, or do they just come up with some poor excuse? I just didn't have the foresight. I didn't have the insight. And here I am. I went into this relationship. Later on, we became a couple, a husband and wife. And sure enough, throughout our relationship, she was late everywhere, usually about an hour everywhere we went. People just got used to us as a couple being late everywhere, with poor excuses always. And that also sipped over to other parts of our relationship, not just the matter of being late, integrity in general. So something to watch for. Number 2, the Tao is elusive and intangible. Love isn't always logical or obvious at first. Trust the slow burn, not just the fireworks. Just because someone doesn't have a perfect dating profile doesn't mean they aren't soul-rooted. Enough said. Number 3, within it is form, substance, essence. Close quote. A partner outer style may shimmer, but their inner essence is what matters. Don't date a hologram. Look for someone with emotional substance and spiritual presence. Again, going back to my previous wife, that was something she was really good at. Looking good, looking the part, makeup, hair, clothes, outfit, everything was looking good. And yet, when it comes to substance, essence, the essence was superficial. The essence was not what one should look for when you look for something that is deep and meaningful. Hey, we had a lot of memories that I could talk about as a couple, that we enjoyed each other's company. I also got an incredible child out of this, and I'm super grateful. It's not that everything was dark, it's just that there was enough darkness in that relationship, enough selfishness in that relationship, and superficiality to make it to make your life not as happy, not as joyful as you could, and not to thrive as a couple on our way to making a difference in the world. It was just not it. Number 4, it is dark and obscure, and yet within it is essence. Early confusion doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's real. Real love may start awkward, but if there's essence in the connection, stick around and be curious. And that's maybe a good time to talk about what do they mean by essence. So again, going back to meaningfulness, is it somebody that when you guys talk to each other, all you talk about is what was your last meal and what movie you watched, and maybe gossip? Or is it something more meaningful than that, such as what is something we're passionate about, what it is that we want to create together? Is there something I want to grow into and learn how to acquire a new skill because I want to add value to other people's lives? Service is huge. So when I met my now wife, my beloved Rachel, one of the first things that I saw was that her Facebook page, when I used to be on Facebook, was all about family, was all about her dad, who at the time was ill. And then I learned pretty quickly that she actually left her life on the East Coast USA. She had an MBA, she had a career, she had a life here in the US. But when she heard that her father was ill in his 80s, she left her whole life, shut everything down, went back to Malaysia, where her home country, and spent 2 years with her dad doing nothing else but taking care of him and helping the family. Now, how many people have I heard do that in their lifetime? How many people can focus on their family needs, on somebody else's needs that really needs them, versus just grooming their own life, or maybe spending a lot of time on social media? Not a lot. So I recognize there's something special about this girl, and I really want to look into it further. And sure enough, here we are several years later. Best relationship I've ever had, best relationship I could ever fathom. But it took a while to get to that point of me learning a lot of hard lessons, as you can imagine. Number 5, from the ancient past till now, its name has not been forgotten. Close quote. Timeless qualities never go out of style. Kindness, patience, humility, these are eternal. Choose someone who carries the kind of energy your ancestors would nod at. So this is tough, guys, because today's world, social media, most everything is just superficial, isn't it? You see people chasing likes. You see people chasing whatever's shiny. You see people focus on how beautiful their hair is, but their body is neglected. How many times have I seen that? You see people focus on what's the most recent trend, what's an amazing gadget I can get my hands on, versus when was the last time I visited my grandma. Family, values, caring about others, being kind to others. Is that something you see in that potential partner? And that goes back to you, to us. Is that something I see in myself? Or am I selfish, expecting to find somebody who's generous, who's kind to others? But I'm selfish, but I'm mistreating my waiters. Right? I will only attract who I am. That's just a given. Master Yi on YouTube. They're from the Shaolin monastery in Germany. Amazing lessons I learned from this guy, and he's represents the Zen Buddhism, Shaolin. He's a Shaolin monk, head of a monastery, and one of the things he says I heard him say about marriage is that marriage or your spouse is nothing but a reflection of yourself. And I could go an hour just talking about that. But truly, we have to first get to a place where we are who we hope to be with. And those of you who stuck around till now, as promised, 3 practical tips for dating based on verse 21. Number 1, date for essence, not packaging. Don't get distracted by surface sparkle. Ask, who are they when no one is watching? Guys, it's perfectly expected for us to be attracted to whoever we are dating. So yes, we need to have that attraction, that spark of passion in it for a real relationship to evolve. Nonetheless, let's not focus just on that, okay? If they look great, fantastic. If they look okay, great. If they're not your typical type, but there is enough attraction and you can see something of essence in them, they're kind, they're generous, they visit their grandma, their service to their family in whatever ways, their service to their community, to their friends, in whatever way, versus, no, it's just absolutely not their thing. Stay away from that, because you are going to become a unit. And if you've never seen them do any kind of service to others, if you're not into that kind of thing at all, you're just not going to serve each other either. You're going to be focused on your own self, on your own careers. You're going to be in your own world, and that's it. That's not their essence we're looking for, is it? Number 2, embrace mystery instead of rushing clarity. Not knowing everything right away doesn't mean it's wrong. It might mean it's deep. Let connection unfold like sacred tea. Slow, fragrant, real. And I think this is a good time to talk about jumping into physical intimacy. Something that I didn't realize how much damage it caused in my way of trying to get to know another person. When you jump into physicality, I know it's exciting, I know it's tempting and seductive in its own way, and when it comes, it comes. What are you going to do? When it flows, right? However, when we rush into it, there is a very good chance we're going to ruin that slow build of intimacy between two people getting to know each other. And it's just gonna be something that we're not thinking clear through our thought process, whether or not this is the right person for me to be with, because we're already gone into the physical thing. I'm attracted, they're attracted. It's exciting, it's passionate. We're not thinking clear. I was blessed with the gift of slow build of intimacy with my current wife and best friend, Rachel, because she was at the time 7,000 miles away in Malaysia. I was here in San Diego, California, and we couldn't meet each other. And it was like in the middle of the pandemic of 2020, 2021. We couldn't meet each other in person even if we wanted to. So sure enough, it took us 3-4 months before we met each other in person, during which time we became truly best friends. We became two people who know each other on an intimate level, but not physical, without the distraction of the physical. And that was a gift. And I don't know if I would have done it if it wasn't forced on us, but I'm really grateful that we did, because here we are, married to my best friend. Number 3, trust in the unseen alignment. If you're walking your own path sincerely, the right person will recognize your frequency without you having to perform. And check this out, again, taking my example from me and Rachel. When we met online, here I was, divorced for the 3rd time, or about to be divorced for the 3rd time, with a child, single dad with a child. At the time, my kid was 3 years old. That's enough to scare plenty of women. And yeah, maybe a lot of them should run away. But when I asked her later, how come that didn't bother you? why wouldn't that bother you enough to say, you know what, I don't know if I want to get into that kind of thing. She at the time, she was never married before me. She had never had children. And why would she, a lot of women would ask, why would you want to get yourself into that kind of trouble, quote unquote? And when I asked her that same question, she said, in hindsight, she said, I just didn't see that. I mean, because I told her exactly who I was and what I was going through and my history from the get-go. I didn't hide it at all. And it never scared her away. And it reminds me of the phrase, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So when the right person will recognize your frequency, they will recognize you without you having to perform. True lovers, if this video made your heart wiggle or your soul giggle, smash that like, comment below with your favorite Taoist dating insight, share it with your friends who keep dating red flags with abs, and subscribe to Be Love Media for more love-soaked wisdom and mystical nonsense. Until next time, walk your path, sip your tea, and remember, your soulmate might just be looking for someone exactly as gloriously weird and wise as you. With big love and B vibes, thank you.